1 in 4 middle-aged women will suffer from a condition called gluteal tendinopathy, which is something that causes pain on the outside of their hip. But unfortunately, most are given the wrong advice, such as to stretch the hip, do clamshells, or simply rest it. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Dr. Zach Greenwade at Performance Sport and Spine in Seattle, Washington. And this new paper came out with 5 amazing exercises that we're going to cover that can help it. And research says that education and exercise are the best options for treating this condition. Let's quickly review our anatomy so we know what we're talking about. We have our spine model here. We got our lumbar spine, our pelvis, and our ball and socket joint. On the outside of this joint, there's a bone called the greater trochanter, which is that big bone on the side of your hip. Well, this red band is your gluteal tendon, and it lays right over it. And it's called a wraparound point. So sometimes if you have this bone and it's pressing into the tendon too much, it can cause pain, especially if you kind of tilt your pelvis or sink into your hip. So by strengthening this tendon and making sure your pelvis is neutral, a lot of improvement can happen from this condition. Now, this condition commonly presents as pain on the outside of your hip, but it can also rate down your leg. Now, one thing to note is it rarely goes past your knee, and there's never pins and needles. If there's pins and needles, that might be the pinched nerve. And it also can rate into your posterior buttock. This pain can be worse with prolonged sitting, laying on the side, long walks, maybe standing up after sitting for long periods of time, and single leg loading exercises like stairs. Alison Mellor came up with 4 simple tests that you can look at to see if you have this condition. If you're interested in it, here's a link to the video that we talk about it. Next, I want to quickly talk about postures. So there's that compression of that tendon. When that tendon presses into the bone too much, it can cause pain and degeneration. So things like leaning into your hip when you're standing, letting your foot cross midline when you're walking, or sitting cross-legged can really irritate that tendon. If you want to know more about what positions and postures to do and not to do, we dive into that in more detail in this video. So at some point, make sure to check that out. We now have high-quality research that shows that education exercise is better for pain relief than corticosteroid injections. So that might even seem like it's a better option initially, but especially long-term, it just isn't. If you found this video helpful so far, it'd really make our day to like it and subscribe to our channel. Also, be on the lookout in the next few weeks as we drop an online program for self-guided rehab exercises for gluteal tendinopathy. Now we're going to cover the exercises. So here's a picture of the 5 that we're going to cover. One thing to note is some of these require gym equipment, so like a back extension machine or a cable machine. But we're going to give you alternates that you can do at home with just a band or a ball. So the first exercise is a hip thrust. You want something with a bench that's about the same height as your knees. Now, it can kind of be uncomfortable on your mid-back, so you may want to roll up a sweatshirt or put a towel. The idea is to cross your arms, drop through your hips, not your back, and then push up to the ceiling, making sure that your femur or your thigh bone is parallel to the floor. As you come up, make sure you're using your buttocks muscles and your hamstrings. You don't want to feel a lot of tension in your back. So down, press your hips towards the ceiling, keep your feet flat on the floor. If you want, you can put a weight on your tummy over time to increase the difficulty. The other option would be to have a back extension machine. So make your feet firmly supported, arms crossed, bend down, and then lift back up to the starting position using mostly your hips. You're going to feel your back a little bit in this, and that's okay. So if you have this option, you can use this one. The next, if you have a gym, is a leg press machine. So one leg at a time, you're going to drop your leg down as far as you feel comfortable, and then pressing through your leg, press your foot away from you. Now, slow tempo of 2 seconds down, pause, and 2 seconds up. Make sure to feel tension in your glute and your thigh, or that front muscle. Now, for those that don't have a leg press machine, 2 alternatives would be to use a band or a ball as we show you here. Now, you can pump the ball up more, use a stiffer band to increase the resistance. Standard banded adduction. So we're going to have a band around our ankle, and then I want to pull in the opposite leg to help stabilize yourself, or like a broom handle. And we're going to pull our left leg, in this case, towards midline, and then back slow and controlled. One thing to note is you don't want your foot to go more narrow than hip width apart, because that's going to put pressure on that outside tendon. So in this video, we're going to show you what to do on the left and what not to do on the right. If you don't have this machine, you can hook a band around something and do it as we show you here. Banded hip flexion. So laying on your back with that ankle band around one ankle, we're going to have our other knee bent, hands flat. We're going to pull up slow to our hip and knees at a 90-90, and then return to the starting position. Again, slow and controlled, and make sure that leg doesn't cross midline. Keep that foot outside your hip. If you don't have this banded machine, you can use a band or ankle weight as we demonstrate here. But to be honest, this sideline leg raise is pretty hard with just your weight. So I would recommend just starting with your leg for the first few weeks and see how that goes, and then progressing to the band or the ankle weight. The last one is the banded hip abduction. So laying on our side with our good hip up, don't do the other side because we don't want to compress it into the floor. We're going to have the band around our ankle, and we're going to put something between our legs so that our leg doesn't fall towards midline. Because remember, we don't want to compress that tendon on the outside of that hip. And then holding on, we're going to press our foot up towards the ceiling, slow and controlled, pause, and then return to the starting position. Make sure that knee doesn't collapse towards midline. Feel tension on the outside of your leg. Now this is probably the hardest one, so go slow. Also, if you don't have a cable machine, you can use an ankle weight as we demonstrate here. With tendon rehab, some discomfort is the norm, not the exception. So how do you know if it's safe or harmful? Well, there's 3 simple rules. So the first rule is the pain needs to be mild. So on that 0 to 10 scale, where 0 is no pain and 10 is the worst pain ever, it should be a 3 or 4 out of 10 at most, but it also needs to feel mild to you. The second rule is any discomfort that's elevated during the exercise should dissipate quickly within an hour or so. And the most important is the next day the hip has to feel the same or better. If it hurts more, you did too much and you have to reduce the reps.